Hey, and welcome to part 2 of my Bloodborne playthrough. When we last left off, I was running over here and trying to cut down this item. And no, it wasn't a fail that time. I didn't actually fall, but it was really close. So yeah, the best way to break these down is of course if you have a weapon that can become longer. As you can see, done professionally the second time. Yeah, so first episode still isn't live yet, but I hope to get some comments to improve. I doubt I can improve my gameplay, but perhaps I can improve the video. Maybe the quality, sound effects. There's one of those bold hunters marks I was referring to in the last episode about being able to teleport out back to your bonfire. I will refer to the lamp as a bonfire because I did play Dark Souls before this. So I will call Blood Echoes Souls as well. While I wait for that, it will happen. So up here you cut down a couple items. One is a new weapon, the Sword Spear, and the second one is some blood stones for your weapon upgrades. I need to play better like that. During this episode I will be failing, of course. You kind of come to expect that, but if you're watching this, a bit of mediocre gaming. But mostly it's just collecting items and eventually getting to level up before we go for our first 2 boss fights, which will be in the next episode. So if you want to skip ahead to boss fights, next episode. Of course the boss fights will still contain a fair amount of fail. And particularly talented at getting hit. So yeah, on one of these sides, as you can see, there's a little passageway in the middle. So on this side, I believe it is the Sword Spear, which is quite nice because it's got a nice fast attack, or you can convert it into, yep, there it is, or you can convert it into a spear, so you can then do a forward thrusting attack, which will give you more range than this axe would. I personally prefer the faster weapons because you can get in the attack before the enemy does. So I might change that later on in the playthrough. I still haven't decided. I've only recorded the first hour so far. So I believe I spent most of my stats on stamina because I was unsure what to put it in, whether I go skill build, which would be the faster dexterity sort of route, or I can go strength build, which would be the bigger, heavier weapons. Whoa. Yes, it's a fail episode. And I just failed by dropping 3,335 blood echoes, so I'm going to try and hurry back and get those. So when you die in the game, where your body died, you will leave behind your echoes, your currency. You have one attempt to get back to them, because of course if you die again, you will leave whatever your current echoes are, where it's be 0 or it could be higher if you kill someone. So it gives you one chance, but it's going to be me being overconfident trying to get back there. Do you be safe, trying to kill one enemy at a time, or do you run? If an enemy walks over the top of it in their patrol path, there's a chance they will pick up your souls, and then you'll have to kill them in order to get them back. See, I just referred to them as souls without thinking about it. It gives you a chance. The game's not absolutely brutal, but you know, it adds a big degree of challenge. There's no hand holding in Bloodborne. And fail, 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 fail. Almost died there, being pushed into a corner and getting attacked. The big problem with running past enemies is sometimes they will follow you, other times they won't. So in my mindset right now, I'm thinking, well, if an enemy picks it up, I'm going to have to clear the area around it to make sure I can fight him without getting shot by those guys again. So instead of going down below, I'm going to go up top and clear away the enemies. If they were holding my souls, again, I refer to the souls, my blood echoes. Oh wow, that was a lot of fail there. If they're holding my blood echoes, then their eyes will glow purple, so you'll be able to pick them out of the crowd. Heaps of fail in this episode. And there's that visceral attack. Yeah, I kind of had a memory lapse back in that last episode a couple of times. Now, there's my souls down there. So I didn't talk much about the these ones, cold bloods. So they go from a rank of 1 to 11 in cold bloods, and each time you use them, you get a certain amount of souls. So the level 1, you get something like 250 souls. The higher ones, you get over 10,000 blood echoes. Same thing. Yeah, it's your currency. But the handy thing about them is you can hold them for as long as you want. They appear in your inventory as consumable. So you can, say you're back at your town, you want to level up, and you're short a few souls, well, pop those. And then you can make that point up to level. Because once you're in the real world out here, you can die, if you saw me do. And there we go, so I got my full amount of blood echoes back. So back on one game, I got the sword spear from one side, so on the other side, where the other body fell down, it would have the bloodstone. Fail so hard. So my weapon was too long, so it hit the wall before the enemy. As you can see, it's a very slow attack, so you can get interrupted. That's why those shorter, faster weapons are often preferred. There we go, that's like me to change over. So as you can see, it's got a spear, so you get some long range attacks, or you get a short one with shorter, faster attacks. It's quite a good weapon. Because it's serrated, it's better for beasts, so beasts take more damage. It's not much, about 20% extra damage, but still something. Kill the enemies if you want, but as you see, overconfident, I run through. Now, as we were talking earlier, we got visceral attacks. There's a second way to get a visceral attack, and that is to do a heavy attack right at the back of an enemy. So as you can see, I stun them by doing that, and they have visceral attacks more damage. Easier to do on the larger enemies. I just picked up a Saw Hunter's badge. That allows me to buy from the vendors the first 4 weapons of the game. So that would be the Saw Spear, the Saw Cleaver, the Hunter's Axe, and the Cane. This ladder is actually a great farming spot if you feel lazy. So as you go up here, the guy at the front will drop a boulder, and there are 4 guys below it. Keep an eye on the top right, and top 48, 1 kill, 2 kills, 3, 4 kills. So 338 for doing nothing. Sometimes the big guy hurts himself as well when he pushes a boulder. As you can see, this weapon's much faster. Of course the damage isn't that massive, that's much faster. Here I'll go for another attempt at a visceral backstab. While you're doing a visceral attack, you can't be interrupted, so that's positive. So here I'm using my Soul Spear for range. We're using its spear function. So I've got more range than him now. Over here you pick up a couple more Bold Hunter's Marks, which are those teleporting items that will teleport you back to the bonfire while you'll still be able to keep your souls, the Blood Echoes. That is the second boss fight, Father Gascoigne. So before we do that, we're going to level up, try and become stronger, because he can really beat you up fast. As you can see, these are the bodies from that big boulder that fell down before. Now, as you can see, there's a ladder here, which is another way up from the sewers. This here is a shortcut, which will take us back towards the first lamp. So we'll refer to lamps as bonfires, so I think it's the same thing. Throwing knives are really handy. They're really cheap, usually. They start off with costing about 100 Blood Echoes. They're great for getting a bit of attention from an enemy, pulling him off from a pack. Back around here is where the dogs were. So as you can see, I could have jumped down there, walked around the edge, and saved myself all that pain and misery of trying to run back to my body. So all I would have had, I come down where the dogs are, across here, through this door, into the building, and on the other side of this building is the lamp. Remember where we picked up our torch before? There we go. So you can see in this room, and otherwise it will be very dark. Because you can't always see enemies, you can't lock onto them. This guy was a funny trap in the beginning, yeah. As you go for the loot on the ground, he shoots you in the back. It's really great, the FromSoft games with that. There's little trolling elements that they do. Loot at the end of the room, how do you think you're going to get to it? You know something's going to happen. Is an enemy going to pop out? Is the ceiling going to fall on you? Will the ground fall away? You know it's a trap, but you still want the loot. And up this staircase, shortcut back to the bonfire. So with FromSoft games, they don't give you endless checkpoints. Instead, they give you a checkpoint and they'll give you gates. So you open up the little shortcuts while maintaining just a minimal number of checkpoints. So you can always skip them, but of course if you die, then you've got a lot longer to walk back to your body. This is a nice NPC because he gives you advice on where to go, what to look for, and he also gives you an item after you defeat the second boss, Father Gascoigne. So let's do a recap of what we've done this episode, excluding the death of course. We picked up a Soul Spear, we picked up some more Cold Blood, which we can use to get more currency, souls. Blood Echoes, wow, my mind. We've picked up some Molotov cocktails, we've got that extra blood vial. We showed you how to use the torch. That's pretty much it. And yeah, we've got lots of blood vials and quicksilver bullets. So as you can see in the top left, it's got 2020 now. So this episode's been a bit boring, but it's good to get prepared because the boss fights in Bloodborne are brutal. Most of the bosses have enraged timers. So usually it's a health based thing where they have, say, half health. They'll do double their damage and have new abilities. So it makes it a lot harder. But the great thing about these games and why I love to play them is a sense of exhilaration when you do beat a boss battle. You know, it's arms in the air, yes, that feeling, it's good, that adrenaline rush. That's why I play the Souls games. That's what I love about these games. So we're going to end out this episode. You can see me popping 2 Madman's knowledge, and that will give us the insight so we can level up from the Doll back at the Hunter stream. Be sure to leave comments and subscribe. See you next time.